such enormous gaps between seasons of TV now. Back in the 2010s, even some of the biggest shows like Game of Thrones produced a season per year. So this has kind of been a big topic of conversation on Twitter recently, where maybe it's just me joining those conversations, but it's very common now for these premium TV shows to have 2-3 years between seasons to produce less than 10 episodes. So you can just go back 10 years ago, Game of Thrones was putting out 10 episode seasons every year until like the very end. But they did like 6 years straight of a season per year, 10 episodes. And, you know, the writer team said they were getting burned out doing that. So like there's a point at which like you're burning, like you're going too hard. But this has also been how television has been done for decades. Television shows for literally 50 years put out over 20 episode seasons every year. Star Trek: The Next Generation ran for 7 seasons, doing over 25 episodes per year. And then Deep Space Nine did the same thing, and then Voyager did the same thing. 24 did a serialized TV show with 24 episodes per season up until a writer's strike screwed up the airing of, was that season 6 where that happened? Or season 7 where that happened. That's what you did. And then even the premium shows were doing episodes every single year. Breaking Bad, widely regarded one of the best shows of all time. They did annual seasons. They weren't those 20 episode seasons. They were shorter, but they were doing annual seasons. And then you look at modern TV shows, 3 years between seasons of Stranger Things. The turnaround to do Agatha All Along was almost 4 years. Vision Quest is going to be like 5 years from WandaVision coming out. House of the Dragon, 2-year turnaround. Rings of Power, 2-year turnaround. I think Stranger Things is the most extreme example of it, where you have a big, gigantic hit show, 3-year turnaround. And maybe you throw the strike in there, threw some things off a little bit, but even then, why weren't you finished writing before the strike happened? like these very long turnarounds. Why is that? And when you stop back and what's fuller picture of it, they're spending twice as long to make a third as many episodes. 2 years to make 8 episodes as opposed to 1 year to make 24 episodes. And their budgets are astronomically higher than those of shows of past. So what else going on here? Well, some of it is that these modern premium TV shows, the ones that are doing this model 2 years to put out 8 episodes, they are premium shows. They're essentially doing 8-hour movies. They're doing very cinematic quality products where they write the entire season before they shoot it, and then they shoot it all together, which is the movie model for how to create something. It's not the television model. So it takes longer, and when you do it that way, you have time to like iterate and rewrite and things like that. So it just takes longer to write because you're writing the whole thing, and you have time to you can fiddle with it and everything like that. And then you shoot it, and they're much bigger productions. They have bigger budgets because they're shooting bigger locations, broader scope, more visual effects. All of those things kind of factor into it as well. So it's just like such a different model. Whereas historic episodic television, smaller budget, less VFX, and there's more kind of episodes of the week. Right now I'm rewatching the show Person of Interest. And I hadn't, just in my free time when editing and stuff in the background, and I hadn't watched it since it originally ran. Really great show, but, over half the episodes are like Georgia's solving a crime. That's easier to write than this intricate web of this bigger story to it. It has mythology to it, but 24 episodes, 22 episodes per season, half of them are just following a very specific template for the show. It's easier to crank that out than crank out this other model of television. So that's a little bit of kind of what's going on with it, but also, I don't know, some of it, I think there's a side to it of it's just not a good model. It's they're misreading what makes television good, which people get connected to characters, they get connected to a world, they get connected to a genre. Where like I'm on the final season of Person of Interest. I've watched like 80 episodes in a fairly short period of time and not gotten bored with it because I just like the characters, you like the world, you like the style, and it's easy viewing. And that's what television does well. Television isn't meant to be 8-hour movie cut into 8 episodes. And when you do that, I think you lose some of the charm of television and you create a new model that doesn't work as well. Oh, the other thing I meant to say a second ago is that like when they start, they're writing almost year round on Person of Interest or whatever, these shows, they're writing them. And they have a team of writers and will put persons cranking out one per week, and they're filming one episode this week, another episode the next week, while a different one's being written. But it's not like the whole season is written before they start shooting. They're writing episodes all the way deep into the end of the season. I think the big question is, why do all of these shows that are taking 2 years to be written and filmed, and so many of them are so lackluster? And I think it's going back to what I just said. They're not leaning into what television does well, where it's about connecting with all these different things. It's not about a movie stretched out to 8 episodes or whatever, 6-hour movie or whatever. And with a 24 episode season, if you start going down a path that doesn't work, you can course correct by the end of it. Versus these modern shows, these Marvel shows, Star Wars shows, HBO Plus shows, if you go down a wrong path, you've already written and filmed it before episode 1 airs. The whole thing is done before anything airs. Versus the old model, you can course correct. Famously, they started going down a course on The Office where Pam was maybe going to break up with Jim in the last season, and John Krasinski ran into us like, whoa, we screwed up. We got to course correct as quick as possible. And they made adjustments as soon as the episode aired because they were still writing and filming episodes. They could change it. Versus the model where everything is written, everything is filmed. And so I think it hurts the model. When you do 6-8 episode seasons, it's kind of the worst of both worlds because it's not long enough to do the depth of character world building that you get in long form television that's over 10 episodes, but it feels like a movie that's padded out by 2 episodes or 2 hours or whatever. So it feels both padded out, but also too short. So it's the worst of all possible worlds. That's too much of these streaming shows that are 6-8 episodes. It's all the wrong stuff while taking forever to write them. So it's a model that they just haven't figured out yet. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.